The Bulldozer. The story of John Pombe Magufuli, Africa's reluctant revolutionary. In the cool dawn of October 29, 2015, the Tanzanian sky watched over a man who promised to clean house. John Pombe Magufuli, known as the Bulldozer, had just been sworn in as the fifth president of Tanzania. Many dismissed him at first, a quiet chemistry teacher turned bureaucrat, hardly the image of a firebrand. But within weeks, the continent took notice. He cut lavish Independence Day celebrations and redirected the money to fight cholera. He fired corrupt officials on live television. He walked into hospitals unannounced. He refused to travel abroad, telling his ministers to solve problems at home before sipping champagne in Geneva. Africa must believe in itself, he would often say. To some, he was a dictator. To others, the mirror of Kwame Nkrumah and Thomas Sankara. But Magufuli wasn't seeking applause, he was dismantling a system. And systems, as history shows, strike back. A new kind of Pan-Africanist. Magufuli believed African nations had surrendered too much for too long. He renegotiated mining contracts that had favored multinational corporations for decades, demanding fairer shares for Tanzania. He introduced laws that allowed the government to seize assets from companies deemed to be cheating the nation. His message was clear: Africa would no longer be a buffet for foreign interests. He clashed with Western ambassadors and donors, especially when he refused aid with hidden conditions. He pushed for East African unity, championed the use of Kiswahili across the region, and kept Julius Nyerere's dream of African socialism flickering in the neoliberal darkness. In private meetings, he criticized the World Bank, the IMF, and even the African Union for what he saw as their complacency in the face of neocolonialism. He is not just inconvenient, one foreign diplomat reportedly said, he is dangerous. He makes people believe in Africa again. The COVID rift. When the COVID-19 pandemic swept the world in 2020, Magufuli took an unexpected path. He questioned the global response, rejected lockdowns, and refused vaccines. He claimed Tanzania had defeated COVID through prayer and traditional remedies. To his critics, he was denying science; to his supporters, he was defying a global script. His approach raised tensions internationally. Western media portrayed him as reckless. Inside the country, opposition figures claimed he was silencing data and punishing doctors who contradicted the official line. By early 2021, whispers began to grow. Rumors of illness. Reports of hospitalization. Then silence. A death wrapped in mystery. On March 17, 2021, Vice President Samia Suluhu Hassan announced that President Magufuli had died of heart complications. But the Tanzanian public, and much of Africa, was skeptical. Why had the government hidden his whereabouts for weeks? Why were foreign leaders informed before many of his own cabinet ministers? And why did international powers respond with such swift, sterile condolences, as though they'd expected it? Some said he had been poisoned. Others claimed foreign agents were involved. In Kenya, Uganda, and even Nigeria, political circles buzzed with theories. Few dared speak openly, but one theme kept recurring: the Magufuli had gone too far. Too far in challenging the economic order. Too far in resisting Western pharmaceutical influence. Too far in making Africa believe it could say no. The legacy of a bulldozer. John Magufuli was not perfect. His government jailed journalists, silenced critics, and undermined institutions.
Now we have more than 60,500 kilometers network for the whole country of 949,000 square kilometers. But as well, we are now constructing more than 11,154 kilometers country-wise to be in tarmac roads. So you can see it yourself that there is a lot of improvement as far as infrastructure.
Idea that Africans could govern with pride without permission. Today, in the streets of Dodoma and Dar es Salaam, murals of him are painted beside slogans like Tanzania Kwanza, Tanzania First. And in many corners of Africa, his name is whispered with both reverence and warning: to Magufuli dead. And he paid.